It said coffee break up there, it said it twice. I'm getting a message. Also, in this time of austerity and budget cuts, this is the PowerPoint presentation. I was told that I wasn't allowed to have this, but I'll ramble on if I don't have something clear. My PowerPoint had 8 words on it, not including my name. I won't keep you for long. My name's JamesTozer, depending on what I work for at name, and I'm the police commander for Shropshire. Some of you I know, some of you I've worked with a lot. I'm pleased to say that having been here since the beginning of the year, I'm now going to be staying for the next couple of years. That's the first time that's ever happened in my career, so I've either done something really bad, but it does mean I'll get an opportunity to work with you over what I think are going to be some of our most difficult times for a long, long time. We too have to save 20 million, and it kind of costs 20 million to police one of our counties, so that'll be quite a challenge. I only really wanted to talk about a shared journey. I sit on the Children's Trust. I've been the commander for Telford for a couple of years. I've been the commander here. I've been the head of intelligence. I've worked in lots and lots of different forums. I was lucky enough or unlucky enough to be very involved in what we call Operation Chalice, which is a sexual exploitation case that's recently, part of which has come through the courts. We may have an 18-year prison sentence given out to one of the offenders. There's no great celebration for me in that. It's taken a long time, since 2008, when we started working on that, putting together the CAPE teams, the Child Threat Exploitation, and working to understand it. But a huge journey that we took over there and still learning from. And a journey that I think we're still learning here. I'm pretty passionate about this sort of world and this area, not only because I've got 3 daughters, but because I do think it's something that we miss an awful lot of. Okay. Is that any? Oh, there, I'll stand here. Is that better? Sorry, folks, I'm not used to not being heard. Right, missing children. They are, I think, the most vulnerable people you've heard. There's lots of reasons why that is. It's because they're children in the main. Children aren't vulnerable by anything other than their age. You can't prepare yourself as a child for somebody who's intent, an adult, intent on causing crime against you, intent on exploiting you. How can you prepare yourself for anything other than a normal childhood? You've heard a few facts here about the looked after children that we've got, about the number of missing people that we've got. We've actually got about the number of looked after children. We've got the highest number of looked after children in care homes in the country, because we've got the highest number of care homes here. 60 plus. I don't even know them all yet, which is a good thing for them if I don't know them, but I know a number of them quite well. That is a huge challenge for all of us. It costs a minimum of £12,000 in police costs just to search and look on average. When I have to get the helicopter out and when we have to do those other things, it's a huge burden on our source, on our resource. But collectively, it's a huge worry for us all. It's a shared risk. Doing a lot of work with that, with David, with Steve, with others, in trying to make sure that we're clear on the risks that are involved. A lot of you who deal with the children, trying to support them, will know that quite frequently they arrive without much of a tag, not even a Paddington, please look after this bear. We don't know the risks involved, we don't know who they've been mixing with, we don't know who it is the risk is coming from. We're working to try and improve that. We're working with Ofsted, we're working with others to try and make it a better experience. David and I brought all of the care providers, the main care providers, who cover most of those 60 care homes, and we've had a face-to-face challenge with them in a positive way. This is what we're going to do, this is what we expect from you, and we'll work together to improve things. And we have shown a massive reduction in the number of children going missing. But missing from care homes isn't the only issue. Missing from private homes is a big issue, but also absence from school generally. So going missing from where you should be, going missing from any kind of place where you are being kept out of chaos and being put into some kind of structure is the main thing that I drive on around. It's a shared journey, it's a long one that we've all got to learn things on, but I'm being very encouraged so far with the activity and the support that we're being shown. There will be a lot more work over the coming years into that. but it's a journey that I believe we've been doing well so far to move. There's a lot of challenges for us about debriefing, finding out why. What was it that made you go missing in the first place? Is it just fun because you like helicopters, which sadly one young girl in South Shropshire seems to? Or is it some more serious reason underneath it? And it's really easy to miss those things because my officers will be chasing them, grabbing hold of them, and chucking them back. Your staff and others will be trying to make sure that their needs are being met. But are we actually getting our heads together and understanding between us what are the issues? What's actually behind it? That's working. Beginning to work. Child sexual exploitation. That's the other thing that I want to talk about. I've had an awful lot to do with this, working nationally and locally. It's really hard. CEOPS, great name, don't know how many of you know it. I think it's the Child Exploitation Online Protection Service. But they're a national body that have been working on this, and they have put a number of reports out. The one line in it that I think everyone should take away is that there's a positive presumption that this exists, because none of us can really see it. Individually, you might see a case that you think, oh, that's obvious, that's something. But collectively, we can't. It's like looking through the wrong end of a telescope. There's an awful lot of data out there, there's an awful lot of information out there. There's rule books, regulations, signs to look for, huge stacks of stuff. But every single case of teenage anxiety, angst or otherwise, might actually hit most of those indicators. So to try and work together to find our way through it, I've been working with the Children's Trust at Telford and the Children's Trust here to try and look at a model of looking through our data differently. It's a challenge because it's sharing data that everybody and every organisation thinks is personal data, because it's about sexual health, it's about missing, it's about all of these things. But I think we're getting there. The positive attitude, the positive professional attitude that you've all got about sharing it and trying to make a difference to it is beginning to turn the corner for us on that. But it is so hard for us to see it. The danger will be that my colleague Darren Baker up there will be sitting and saying, right, we've got this many cases, we've got this many things that we're looking at, this many people that are at risk of sexual exploitation. And actually, if you looked at it another way, cut the data in 3 or 4 ways, you might find some indicators of things that you wouldn't have picked up. Because changing attitudes, missing from school, missing from home, you can't link all these bits of information together until a more serious incident happens. And rather like the long journey that we're all travelling on domestic abuse, it's really hard to see. So, I know that we've all been trying our best to do this. You've all been trained. You've all had awareness. You've all had all of the different signs and indicators that you've seen through whatever newspaper you read or don't read, whatever part of the country you're in, whether it's Peterborough, Rochdale, wherever it is, you all can find a case. And we all kind of think, I hope that won't happen here. I don't think I ever say it will never happen here. I hope that won't happen here, and I hope it's not happening. I could have told you and taken you through the slides of the model and all of those things that we're working on. I could have spent more time talking to you about where we're at and where we're going. I think all I wanted to do is point out that we will have to work together over this. It's a time of austerity, it's a time of change, but none of us can do this alone. Don't be frightened to speak out about what you've got. Don't be frightened to raise things through the channels and the processes. Those channels are better than they've ever been before. The processes that we've got in our different individual departments and breaking down the safeguarding board into a sexual exploitation subgroup, all of those things, don't let your voice be squashed by those, don't let them not be heard. If you think you've got a process out there, let someone know. If you think you've got a problem, because we're never going to get this right, we're never going to eradicate it, but we've got to understand it and move forward with it. David asked me to come and break up his voice, coffee. He's probably got a much better presentation than mine, but all I wanted to say is, look, you're all in the middle of a process, we're sharing a journey, and please don't lose sight of the importance here. The words, we can hone, we can work on. The documents and the processes, we can hone and we can work on. But actually, this is your responsibility and my responsibility, and we've all got to do something different with it. I'll do everything I can to help, I'll do everything I can to badger, cajole, and make a difference to everything that I can do. But if we really are going to make a difference keeping our children safe from harm, which is the little tiny strap line at the top of our sheets that we got today, then we really have to think differently about what we're doing. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm putting my effort and process. I know where my staff and all the different departments in my force are working for it. None of us have got it right yet. But I can put my hand on my heart and say I'm trying the best that I can in this process. That's what I know we're all going to be here to do together. So thank you for your forbearance and your time. Sadly, I'm going to have to go in about 5-10 minutes, but I'll be very happy to take any questions or anything else that you've got through David or through the other forums, and we can see what we can do to improve. But thank you for your time.